welcome to Ask Dr. Georgiana's video bulletin titled, Why Does Your Partner Always Say Yes But rather than Yes and What Can You Do About It? We're going to discuss the lack of acknowledgement many individuals feel during arguments with our partner and what one can do to communicate more positively and successfully. Have you ever felt frustrated during a conversation in which your partner answered yes, but in response to a point you were making? Although it is obvious that two people cannot agree on everything, if you felt at the time that both your point of views had some validity and contained similar elements, it would be reasonable for you to be upset at the lack of acknowledgement. Focusing on differences of opinion rather than on similarities during a conversation is a very common habit that often leads to unnecessary conflict. I created this video in response to a question I received from Miriam in Salt Lake City, Utah. She wrote, Dr. Georgiana, I am tired of arguing with my partner over the silliest of things. Every time I say something, he responds, yes, but. And no matter how hard I try to present my point of view, he maintains a perspective opposite to mine. Last week, we were having a discussion about his ex-girlfriend, and I expressed a concern about her coming to our house when I was not there. I reminded him that at a recent party, we had both made it clear to her that we accepted her friendship under the condition that she only spent time with us as a couple. 1 week later, she overlooked it and showed up unannounced at our house when I was out of town and my partner was running errands with my mother. My partner replied that I was being insensitive as the ex-girlfriend had tried to call and neither of us answered the phone. I was speechless and felt at a loss. It seemed I had a right to be upset. Why couldn't he acknowledge my thoughts and feelings and then present his perspective afterwards? This is a constant problem in our relationship. What is going on and what can I do about it? Now, Miriam's issue with her partner is certainly frustrating and a shame, but highlights an interesting point. Most of the time when a couple has differences in opinion, there's still some similarities in their thinking. In the heat of the moment, we forget that the focus of the argument should be on resolution and compromise, not proving the other to be wrong. Though it may seem counterintuitive at first, the couples with the most successful communication find their middle ground first and then state the differences. Doing this does wonders for the relationship and allows both people to walk away from a conversation feeling validated and accepting of the other person's perspective. So what could be going on when a person has the yes bad habit? Although there are countless possibilities, here are the three most common. Number one, they may be afraid that you will not consider their point of view, so they assert themselves by overlooking what you're saying. Number two, they may be impatient. Instead of taking the time to consider your perspective and how it may affect the response, they rush to make theirs heard. Number three, there may be unresolved conflict in the relationship that makes the person feel defensive and not want to yield to you. Usually, telling your partner why you think they do what they do yields less than satisfactory results. Instead, it's better to explain to them the impact this way of communicating is having on you and the relationship. Here are three possible scenarios to share with your partner. Scenario number one, you feel unheard and withdraw from expressing your thoughts. Scenario number two, you argue with them, do not acknowledge their perspective, and your conversations break down. Scenario number three, you're angry for not being heard and retaliate by not being present or sensitive to their needs. None of these scenarios are beneficial for either of you, and having an open line of communication will help. In order to illustrate your point, you may want to choose an example from past interactions that will not generate an emotional reaction in your partner. Miriam, in your case, you could easily use the example you described to raise concerns about the deeper reasons causing your partner to overlook your comments. The most important conclusion from this is whether healthy communication is even possible with a person you're committed to. If you cannot resolve it on your own, I suggest that you seek professional help. If that doesn't work, you must realistically assume your partner is unwilling to help the relationship get better and easier over time. I am honored to be part of your journey, finding and keeping the right partner, and look forward to discussing your concerns in future videos in one of my online relationship programs or doing a coaching session. If you have a story like Miriam's, or if something in this video resonated with you, please join the discussion in the comments section below. I will see you very soon.